Workplace incivility and bullying is any negative behavior that demonstrates a lack of regard for others.
Bullying exists. Call it what it is. It can lead to a loss of valuable human capital and medical errors.
Hi, I'm Dr. Beth Bullock.
And I am Dr. Cole Edmondson. We are Robert Wood Johnson Executive Nurse Fellows and members of the project team which developed the Civility Toolkit, resources to empower healthcare leaders to identify, intervene, and prevent workplace bullying. This toolkit series of videos was specifically intended for use with students during their preparation for careers in healthcare and for employers to use with new hires during their onboarding experience. However, it can also be used by anyone or any profession working to build a respectful workplace.
The objectives for the tool are to define incivility and bullying, describe common situations of incivility and bullying, describe the impact of incivility and bullying on human capital and patient outcomes, develop a list of terms that are deleterious to collaboration, can invoke a negative response in the listener and are disrespectful, and commit to removing them from our conversations. Reflect on our personal contributions to an incivil workplace. Describe the approach to respectful conversations for difficult situations. Model the respectful conversations approach to managing difficult situations. And apply the respectful conversations approach to managing difficult situations in a safe training setting.
The tool is divided into a series of 3 videos. The first video provides an overview and foundation for our work. In the second video, we will review the steps in the respectful conversation process. The last video will provide vignettes of incivility and modeling of the respectful conversation process. Following the series of videos, you will apply what you learn through monitored role-playing exercises.
So let's get started. Workplace incivility and bullying is any negative behavior that demonstrates a lack of regard for others. This can include a vast number of disrespectful behaviors, including harassment, teasing, gossiping, purposely withholding business information, overruling decisions without a rationale, not responding or responding slowly when a colleague asks for help, passive-aggressive behavior, sabotaging team efforts, demeaning others, especially lesser experienced members of the team, verbal intimidation, eye-rolling, habitual tardiness.
35% of adult Americans, an estimated 54 million workers, report being bullied at work. Perhaps as many, if not more, are bystanders to the negative behavior. The group of bystanders includes not only coworkers, but our patients, their families, and their visitors, students, our service personnel, and other healthcare professionals. Almost 21% of nursing turnover can be related to bullying, and 60% of new nurses who quit their first job in nursing within 6 months report that it was because of being bullied. Other professions experience the same rates of turnover. Replacing a nurse can cost as much as $88,000 US. Replacing anyone in our setting is expensive. According to a study by the U.S. Bureau of National Affairs, there is a loss of productivity of $5 to $6 billion per year in the U.S. due to bullying in the workplace. But for those who don't leave, another problem can evolve. Some healthcare professionals who survive bullying early in their careers carry their learned behaviors with them. They accept the bully culture as part of their job and eventually may choose to bully other coworkers. In one study on workplace bullying, most of the respondents reported being bullied by the charge nurse, manager, or director. However, incivility and bullying occurs top-down, bottom-up, and laterally in most of our organizations. It occurs among professions and within professions. A hierarchical relationship is not required.
Bullying may lead to erosion of professional competence, as well as increased sickness and absenteeism. Bullying victims may suffer stress-related health problems such as nausea, headache, insomnia, anxiety, depression, weight changes, and alcohol and drug abuse. These health problems lead to inattention, and inattentive healthcare professionals are more prone to making errors. Incivility and bullying can erode trust among interprofessional team members, and team trust is foundational to reporting those errors, such as when a colleague doesn't follow a quality or safety protocol. Self-doubt arises when a healthcare professional reports a patient change and is told that everything is fine, don't call me again. They probably won't. But incivility and bullying don't just occur among healthcare professionals. They are also often directed at patients and their families. Dismissive treatment of patients is counter to our goals to empower patients to manage their health, and it increases risk for malpractice litigation. Patients may feel intimidated, embarrassed, or belittled, and not report key information regarding their health, such as not taking their medication, not having the money to fill a prescription, or not testing their blood sugar. It takes good communication and strong teamwork to manage the complexities of our patients' healthcare problems and navigate an ever-changing healthcare system.
If reducing incivility and bullying is so important to building a workplace of respect, why is it so hard to do? Many healthcare leaders have published and spoken out regarding this growing problem. It may be because strategies to eliminate incivility and bullying and to create respectful, civil, supportive, and safe environments have largely centered on the collaborators, the individuals. However, theory and research establishes incivility and bullying as a complex interplay of influences from interpersonal, community, and environmental sources. Incivility and bullying are a group phenomenon, reciprocally influenced by the individual, peers, the immediate environment or institution, community, and society. However, we are at a tipping point with support to learn to address the problem at every level of our organizations.
So let's start with how we communicate with each other. Words have power, and how they are used can lead to collaboration or to disrespect. Insulting and judgmental terms are so ingrained in our practice that we often don't realize how the terms are perceived by others. For example, we use terms such as order among healthcare professionals and with our patients and families, which reflects a dictatorial or military hierarchy which doesn't exist. A word such as prescribe better suits today's healthcare interprofessional teamwork. Another term is non-compliant. It is usually used for patients and families who don't do what we want them to do. The term, again, is hierarchical and infers that there is punishment for not doing something. It is judgmental and derogatory and has no place in a respectful collaboration centered on the patient and family. A third example is the term frequent flyer. It is usually used for patients and families who repeatedly return for care that the healthcare team considers not justified. The term is derogatory and deleterious to partnership. Instead, when patients and families return more than expected, an assessment is justified to determine patient and family barriers to managing their health and safety. Language, though, is not just verbal, it's physical. When we stand over our patients, families, and colleagues, we present a hierarchical dominance that is a barrier to communication. Crossing one's arms in front, leaning on walls while we speak or listen, playing with one's hair, chewing gum, rolling our eyes, and numerous other behaviors are common in our daily settings, yet may be perceived as rude, inattentive, or closed off. Take time after this video to think through which words and behaviors can be perceived as disrespectful in your setting. Determine acceptable replacements if needed, and commit to change.
Now that you know what incivility and bullying is, what it looks like, and how it affects our workplace and patients and their families, it is time to measure where we are personally, in our units or departments, and in our organizations. Knowing where we are and where we want to be will guide our work. In every situation of incivility or bullying will be the collaborators, the receivers, and the givers of disrespect, and the bystanders. To build a culture of civility and respect, leaders must address the incivility for both collaborators and bystanders. The impact on bystanders should not be minimized. Remember, bystanders can be other healthcare professionals, students, or the patients, families, and visitors in the setting. Bystanders can experience all the same negative effects as collaborators and need to see that the values of the organization are lived. Culture is transparent. Everyone is a part of it, and everyone contributes to it. In the toolkit bucket labeled Truth are assessments, indices, and a dashboard for you to select from at the end of this video to find out where you are in the incivility and bullying spectrum. Do you experience it but not speak up? Do you speak up but not feel listened to? Do you observe it? Or are you the perpetrator? Most of us have been all of these at one time or another. Self-reflection is an important tool for change.
What happens if, despite all of your work and best intentions, the incivility and bullying continues? Many organizations write no tolerance policies to determine repercussions of incivility and bullying. However, caution should be taken in how these are crafted. If the discipline policy escalates too quickly, students and staff may choose not to report for fear of destroying someone's career. Patients and families may not report staff for fear of receiving poor care or no care when they need it. Alternatively, if every incident is handled with a simple conversation over coffee, real change may not occur. Thus, a balanced approach is needed. Policy should start with respectful conversations. Should disruptive behaviors continue, they should be written to include more severe disciplinary action. This may include termination of employment, regardless of the position of the perpetrator in the organization.
Emotions and tension can often run high with the increasing acuity of many settings and the numerous stressors, especially for productivity, that we all face in healthcare. How we handle situations defines who we are. The mnemonic "be aware and care" will help you stay focused to the task of reducing incivility and bullying in the workplace. A printable sheet is available in the Courage bucket and should be posted in every healthcare area. Bullying exists. Call it what it is. It can lead to a loss of valuable human capital and medical errors. Acknowledge that bullying may be a problem in your organization. Healthcare leaders should talk about bullying and encourage staff to speak up and be heard if it does occur. The more it's acknowledged, the more you can do about it. Leaders that minimize its impact or deny its existence create a culture of silence that impedes solutions to this problem. Watch for the signs of bullying throughout the workplace. Be proactive. Be sure supervisors and managers know how to recognize the signs of bullying. Don't wait for it to be brought to your attention. Act when you notice signs of bullying by directly intervening and/or getting help if you don't know how. Refuse to be silent as a bystander. Bullies lose their power when people stop passively accepting their behavior. It is everyone's responsibility to have the courage to play a role to prevent and stop bullying. Get involved and take a stand against this issue. Reflect on the incident and your action. Reflect on what was perceived to go wrong and start to reflect on what worked well and why. Analyzing the incident may help you to reflect on action, the past experience, reflect in action as the incident is happening, and reflect for action, actions you may wish to take in the future experiences. Empower staff and students to collectively and safely respond to bullying they see and hear. Create a mechanism to confidentially report bullying issues in the workplace without fear of retaliation. And of course, care, because it matters.
We hope that these tools help you reduce the incivility and bullying in your workplace. In this first video, we defined incivility and bullying. We described common situations in which they occur. We described the impact of incivility and bullying on human capital and on patient outcomes. We shared with you a couple of terms that are deleterious to collaboration, can invoke a negative emotional response, and are disrespectful. And we asked you to reflect on personal contribution to an incivil workplace. In video number 2, we will describe the approach to respectful conversations for difficult situations.
This tool, from the Courage bucket of the Civility Toolkit, was designed by a Robert Wood Johnson Foundation Executive Nurse Fellows Project team, the PACERS. We chose this acronym because we are passionate about creating an environment of respect and civilities in healthcare. The project team members are listed for you here in alphabetical order. Without the group's wisdom and passion, this tool would not be possible.